keep on striking, walking and a biking, striking to save the world. And let denial turn us around, turn us around, turn us around. Ain't gonna let denial turn us around. We're gonna keep on striking, walking and a biking, striking to save the world. Despair ain't gonna let despair turn us around, turn us around, turn us around. Ain't gonna let despair turn us around. We're gonna keep on striking, walking and a biking, striking to save the world. Divisions ain't gonna let divisions turn us around, turn us around, turn us around. Ain't gonna let divisions turn us around. We're gonna keep on striking, walking and a biking, striking to save the world.
The world's scientists calculate that emissions must fall by half by 2030 to give a good chance of limiting global heating to 1.5 degrees Celsius. If we do not reach this target, it is accurately projected that hundreds of millions of people will suffer from heat waves, droughts, floods, and poverty. Our governments know these stats. I'm sure that if a 14-year-old reads the news, then these politicians must be doing the same. Yet in their latest announcement, instead of focusing on strengthening our carbon reduction strategies, they are aiming to produce another 600,000 barrels of oil a day to ship off around the world. Turning a blind eye to these important topics because of political ideology, it has become a way of the past. Canada has signed on to the Paris Agreement, committing to reduce our carbon levels and reconstruct our economies to suit the demand of a changing global environment. Yet Saskatchewan has not reduced our emissions a single %. We have the highest per capita emissions footprint at 66.9%, compared to the national average of 19.4%. This demonstrates what an important piece of Saskatchewan has the potential to play in correcting this country's path in combating climate change through transforming our energy sector. Saskatchewan produces 1/700th of the world's emissions. We talk a lot about leaving a better earth for the next generation, but the science clearly indicates that we don't need to be thinking that far down the road if our climate policies don't drastically change for the better. Our current politicians will have the opportunity to see their relatives on the coasts of Canada experience the negative impacts of ocean warming and sea level rise. Our elected officials will have the opportunity to witness the projected droughts in the Western Canada that are devastating our southern neighbors in California. They will be able to see intense rainstorms destroy cropland and urban infrastructure. They will witness the mass immigration of refugees to Canada from human displacement caused by our global impact on climate change. And they will be alive and well to answer the questions their grandchildren ask them about their inaction on climate change and why didn't this generation of leaders do more. For us younger people, there is no "I told you so" to make things better 20 years from now. We need our governments to act. Politicians, put your worries of re-election aside and make the decisions that are necessary today. So that you can look your children and grandchildren in the eye of the future. This is not a time to legitimize those talking about Wexit. It is not the time to spend millions of taxpayer dollars fighting the federal government over a carbon tax. This is a time for all our politicians to pull up their bootstraps and get to work on making what the vast majority of Canadians want. That is for our government to take drastic change in combating climate change. Thank you.
I understand that a majority of people are used to this. My heart aches. I wouldn't want anyone used to this, but it's 2019 and I've been used to this for 19 years. I think about the fact that I don't really want to have children because I fear for the generations that are coming that might not have clean drinking water. That's just one thing about climate change, you see dirty water. Think about your AC. Personally, it makes me sick to my stomach and gets me lightheaded. So when it's really hot in the summer, I suffer a lot. I can't imagine in 30 to 40 years when the earth burns way more than it does today. Up to get a drink and no water from the taps. And if there was, and it was brown, how would that make you feel? Mad, sad, frustrated, disappointed, helpless? Because that's how I feel. I feel like I'm a little grain of sand in this world. I'm not educated to the best of my ability, but I do see the effects of climate change every day. There should have been snow on the ground way earlier than it snowed this year. I remember as a kid, I was trick-or-treating in deep snow. Look outside today. Do you see what I see? Do you feel what I feel? If you don't, that means I'm not up here today for no reason. I'm here to let you know that I'm scared. My peers are scared. I'm scared for my children and my children's children, because not only am I nervous for them not to have a planet to live on, because climate change does affect everyone on this earth, it affects you here today, listening to a child who hasn't even graduated high school yet. I'm scared of climate change, and you should be too. I hate public speaking. It's one of my greatest fears. Another one of my fears is for my children and my children's children and your children's children not to have clean water because it's contaminated, for them not to have clean air to breathe because it's too toxic to stand. I never in my life thought I'd become a tree hugger. But here I am today, and I want to hug the whole planet. I want to hold our mother and tell her I did everything I could to help her. As a child, I remember seeing my mom grab a glass of water in the mornings and pray for the water. I was raised to know the earth, the water, the fire, and the wind as my relative. Walk out the wind. My relative, I did not intentionally hurt you. But I will not stand up here today and say I'm not a part of the problem. I drove here today. I sleep in a heated home. I am comfortable, but I am not greedy. I found this photo a couple days ago, and I want to share it with you. It says, no one owns the water, no one owns the land, no one owns the ocean, and no one's owned the sands. These are given by our mother. The planet provides for free. Only by the hands of the greedy does the earth require a fee. I don't know the author of that, but I hope whoever that is knows. Ever since I was a little girl, I was raised to be kind to every living creature and respect every living thing in general. Water has a spirit, an example being Moana. I watched it last night. The water called out for help to a little girl. It called out for help because the people were greedy and wanted more than what was needed, which led into a destruction of her future. To some people, it's just a movie. To me, it's a sign. It's a sign that we need to act fast and save our mother. Thank you.
I urge you, no matter how daunting it seems, to start small. Write to your elected officials. Attend a climate meeting. All of you have already taken that first step just by being here today. All of you must draw inspiration from others. Know that you are not alone.
Turn us around. Let consumerism turn us around. Turn us around. Turn us around. And gonna let consumerism turn us around. We're gonna keep on striking, walking and a biking, striking to save the world. Nobody ain't gonna let nobody turn us around. Turn us around. Turn us around, ain't gonna let nobody turn us around. We're gonna keep on striking, walking and a biking, striking to save the world. Striking to save the world.